Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to Marrio Esco Live. I'm your host, Marrio Esco. Alongside me is my good friend, co-host, Gil Vargas.
Yo, what up?
And we got a special guest in the building with us today. He's not new to the show. Matter of fact, you were on episode 2. Two, second one, bro.
Okay.
The very second one. So, we talked. We also let me. my bad. Let me introduce my brother real quick. Brother Ron is the founder of Legendary Legacies, which is a nonprofit organization in the city that's helping the young men within the city with. Go ahead.
We help them with job coaching, life coaching. A big focus of ours is gang reconciliation. We work with both sides of the two major gangs in the city.
Love it.
To try to get them to, come together and have those conversations. Ultimately, we're trying to bring about less violence, more peace in the city, and at the same time, spread the gospel.
Dope.
Now, I know your nonprofit is fairly new, but have you had two, sided of gangs or whatever already reconciliate, or are you still working on it?
It's a good question, man. And this process is a longitudinal one. It's one that we got to look at in the long term, and be like, okay, can we begin to have pockets of conversations with one or two guys that previously would not get together? So, like, for instance, have whole sets been like, yo, we cool? Nah. But we have spaces where we have dudes from the South that are coming over and playing ball in the East. You know what I'm saying? Where historically, like, it'd have been like, nah, you can't come over there. And that's what's starting to happen. We're starting to see some traction gained in that. But it's a slow process, man. It's all relationship building, and relationship building is something that takes time.
Facts.
So that's how we gotta look at it.
Dope, yeah. And you can find out a lot more about Legendary Legacies. Check out episode 2, where Brother Ron really expounds on what he's doing and how he's serving the community. So real quick, as you guys jump in, call to action. Should I read call to action, or is that like something that you're supposed to like keep like to? I don't know. I don't got a TV producer.
For me, it's normal because
do you read like the thing like in the?
No.
I think you good though.
All right, so call to action. That's what it says. So like, do I read it? Cool. Join the email list.
One of these days, I'm just
join the email list. Share the show if you guys are jumping in.
One of these days, I'm just gonna write in there. I'm so excited to see if you read it.
Leave a review wherever you hear the show. I'm so excited. This dude. Let's do some hand claps or something right in the beginning of the show. Ron, if you want to hear audio, I can hook you up with a headphone if you want.
Nah, I'm good.
You good? All right, cool. So that was some hand claps happening.
All right. I feel like I want to be like where y'all at.
Yeah, I got you.
If I put the headphones on, I'm gonna look at Taurus. So.
All right, gotcha, man.
You hear everything a lot clearer, but a lot of people can't deal with the delay.
Oh, right on the headphones. Real quick, check out d2lproductions.com. We got some merch available there. You can see the website right there at the bottom of my right, your left screen. So go check that out as well. And a shout out to all of our family. Our network family. You know what I mean? We're looking to expand. We're looking to network. We're looking to build.
Looking pretty dope.
Yeah, man, I'm excited, man. I'm
see a family.
Exactly, man. So shout out to all our family up there. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. GOP, the Bar Podcast, the Prayer Plug, Rep the King Mag, Rap Revenant, the Bridge Radio, Critics, the Unashamed Network, which is it's a TV channel. That we're going to be with the Unashamed Network. So we're excited about that. So shout out to them, man. Mad love to them. I did think I had Janito coming in.
Oh, my man didn't come, bro.
But look.
But you can at least see that we paid homage.
Exactly.
Just like that.
You know?
That's my good brother.
Just like that.
I was looking forward to chopping it up with him. I'm not going to lie.
Yo, he's the backbone of the organization, man. Like, really. Like, we wouldn't be able to do what we do without his consistency and his commitment to
I'm sure he's always been a hard worker, man.
Bro, yeah.
He's always been a hard worker since I've known him.
And a real good, like, just like straight up like Barnabas to Paul, like help me out, like help me down.
Yeah.
Holds me down.
That's
when you feel like
you need that. You know what I mean? Like that's how me and Gil are. Like I tell Gil, man, in a lot of ways, I feel like I feel bad because of the burden that God has placed on him, but I feel like he's like my therapist. Like, he's the one that I be calling up and like,
yo. Sometimes, this is hilarious too. Sometimes he'll go off for like a good half hour, 45 minutes. I don't say a word. And then towards the end, when he's done, he'll be like, "Yo, man, if I didn't talk to you, I wouldn't get this clarity. Man, thank you so much." And I didn't say a word. I'm like, "I got you, bro.
Right.
Anytime."
I feel that, man.
I felt like I just changed his life if I didn't really say anything. He figured it out himself, and he's like, "Thank you, bro." Man.
Epinero jumped in. He's saying, "What's up, Ron?"
That's my man, E. What's going on, family?
Yeah,
Janito got pipes. He does. That dude's a beast.
So we'll do our best to follow along as you guys are jumping in.
He's helped us out too. He's helped Legendary out. He did some mixing for us on a couple of the tracks that we do inside.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up.
How about some video stuff? He
hasn't done any video stuff for us right now.
Narrow. What's going on?
I see him with the video
Not for lack of trying.
Gotcha.
We just haven't had to pull him in on anything yet.
Gotcha. Okay. So real quick recap. Last episode 51. Love conquers all. Did you peep that?
I did not.
Bro, we had David Lynn on.
For real.
David Lynn on. So did you hear about David Lynn?
We killed.
Huh?
What?
Okay, so it's a pastor.
He said for real? Like he knew exactly what.
It's a pastor and an outreach preacher out in Canada. Okay. And he does this tour where he hits up like all these different blocks throughout Toronto and Canada, and he preaches. It just so happened to be on one of these spots, the LGBTQI community. We're doing like the Pride
parade or whatever.
Yeah, so they had the back and forth. Police showed up. He ended up getting locked up for the night. So we had him on the show and shared a story and but then this dude started telling all these other stories that we were like, hold up, like this was nothing for you, man. Out in where was it? Ethiopia? What did he say?
Like that. No,
in Ethiopia, he got like stoned. He was out there preaching. Somebody came through, grabbed his neck. Bro. People started throwing rocks.
Wow.
He said he got hit in the eye, right? And it took him like 6 weeks to heal or something like that.
Wow, man. People are still suffering, man.
So I was just
like, his wife saw him get beat up. It was crazy.
Yeah, so that was, that was crazy. But that was episode 51, Love Conquers Hate. So go peep that if you guys are interested. We also talked about NF. And how he's doing.
Because he has his new video. Yo.
It's fire?
It's crazy. Yeah. Just not to get too much into it. But he paints this picture of of growing up. Like, so in the beginning of the video is like kids in a circle, like, I want to be an astronaut. And I want to be a police officer. Yeah. And then eventually it gets to him as a kid. And he's like, I want to be a rapper. And then boom, now it goes to him being a garbage man. He's like basically saying his dream that he wants to be a rapper. He doesn't care what anybody says. Like, this is what he wants to do. He just wants to make money. And towards the end of the video, he gets there. Yeah. And then after he leaves the stage where it's like he's killing it, the crowd is going nuts. When he gets to the bottom, he goes to the mirror and he has like a line through his mouth, like a clown.
Wow.
Yep.
And he's looking at the mirror like with his face like, dang, this is really what I asked for.
Yeah.
Like, this is really what I...
Yeah, it was like
really what I wanted?
Yeah.
You know?
It was very, like, desaturated color. It was very dark. It was very, like, dungeon-looking bathroom. It was very... It was dark.
Dope.
Gotcha.
It was dark.
But the whole time, you listen to his rap like, yeah, get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's talking about killing it. He's talking about, I'm going to keep at it.
Yeah, he's like, I don't care what the haters say. Like, he's just going through. Like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. Like, that was the message.
Yeah.
And then he makes it. And then that complete twist, bro. I was not expecting it.
Wow.
I was like, that's fire. And there's so many things you can go with that. Like, don't allow it to consume you.
Right.
You know, don't make it be your all in all. But it's okay to get successful as long as it doesn't consume you.
Yeah.
Or are you really truly seeking something valuable, or is this a vain pursuit?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many gems that you can pull out of that. You know what I mean? So
that aligns with some of the stuff that we research stuff that I've been looking at through this dude named Father Richard Rohr, man. He's just like this old Franciscan priest, man. But like, he talks about like healthy masculinity and development and stages of faith and all this stuff. And like, that's one of the things he talks about, like, especially as men, like we get to this place where we are pursuing success and like all we do. And at some point you've got that's like he posits like that's an adolescent mentality.
Yeah.
Right. And the fact that we don't have a lot of male mentors that have gotten through that, that the majority of people, because we don't have rites of passage in the West, is what he talks about. Like there's no like real rites of passage, and so like ancient rites of passage were a way for you to be able to experience.
I feel like this is the Joe Rogan show now. This is dope. Go ahead.
Experience life in a microcosm, right? Because life is hard, like it is, and so that's why you have these things like you take your 12-year-old son and throw him out in the woods. You know, Native American.
Yeah,
you be out in the woods
for
a week by themselves. You got to survive. Because guess what, bro? Like this is life, bro. Like this is gonna feel like when you got a family. You trying to get there, and then it's hard. And so you already have a concept. Oh, that's my son.
That's little man. That's little man. Speaking
I knew
of
that was gonna happen.
Yeah,
speaking of,
I knew it was gonna happen.
Introduce. Okay, there's my little man.
Yeah, say hey, Isaiah.
All right.
He's like, if he's breaking the rules, so am I.
So that's
okay.
Hi, Isaiah.
No,
go ahead, Aiden. You can say hello with your Spider-Man shirt on.
Brother.
Go ahead, say what's up.
Hello.
All right.
All right, guys. All right, guys.
Thanks for coming.
Say,
all right, cool. I love you, man.
That's how it is when you're daddies, man. You like.
Facts. Now you made me miss mine.
That's how it is when you.
I knew he was going to come through.
You were like,
he was the one that was going to come.
He's rushing.
He had already spied the scene before.
He's rushing in here.
I knew that. When he did it the first time, I'm like, that's so happening on the show. That's so happening on the show.
But he talks about that. Like we get caught in the space where you're pursuing success. And he talks about that's where the midlife crisis really comes from, right? Because all my value has been based on my success, and so when I'm not getting that, that's why all of a sudden I got to get a new Lamborghini or a new Corvette or whatever, and that's why I'm 50 years old racing a 25-year-old, because my value is still based on how I show up, my success, and all those types of things.
Let me get this mic right on you, man. I want to make sure these people are hearing you.
Yeah, and so
cool. There you go.
He talks about
there you go.
The lack of rites of passage. And so the majority of males in the West are stuck in this adolescent mindset. Like we're in perpetual adolescence.
Wow, bro.
Dang. Right?
So is that my problem?
Do the gym, man.
Yo, this dude is dissecting me right now.
Like if you're just stuck on that.
Go ahead, preach to me, man.
You know what I'm saying? No, like if you're stuck on that only, and I think the reality though is like having the self-awareness to know, is that where you're at? Because that can happen. Like it's gonna come up.
Facts.
And so it's like, is that what I'm dealing with right now? You know what I'm saying?
Almost like feel like, just rebelling. You feel so oppressed and stuck and cornered that the only thing that you can think of how to respond is to kick and scream. Like legit, like, yo, throw a tantrum. Hurry up. They better hear me. You're gonna hear me. I promise you're gonna hear me. So we try I have ways to make you hear me. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that is the attitude. That and that's in different ways. If I'm not like a person, and believe me, I'm more how you call that inside, like
angry.
There you go, introvert. What'd you say, Gil?
Angry. He said
angry, dude.
He said you like this. Like the Hulk, though.
It's the right one, bro. Say the right one.
My bad.
Introvert. I know people won't believe it, but so I'm more introvert. But what forced me was that wanting to be heard.
Yeah.
And people do it in different ways.
Crazy.
So me, I start a podcast. He has
a show named himself.
I'm
an introvert, man. Welcome to Marrio Esco Live.
Hey, what up? So with me, I start a podcast. I better be heard.
Right.
I'm such an introvert,
but other people have different ways of expressing that rebellion.
Yeah.
Hair color.
No doubt.
Piercings,
it's
tattoos everywhere.
Real. That's real.
The things that aren't the norm that separate you from that is their way of saying I'm rebelling.
This box.
I'm not with y'all.
Yeah.
I don't rep that.
Yeah.
Because it's always failure, oppression. It's pretty much give in. like yo, give in to the system. Stay quiet.
Yeah.
Do what we tell you to do.
Yeah.
And then you got the Gary V's and all these, talk about that. Then you got the mentors, the entrepreneur mentors. And now in your program, Legendary Legacies, one of your desires is to teach the kids about entrepreneurship, ownership.
Yeah.
That's one of your things that you want to do.
Yeah. And
so how do you do that? Like, how are you doing that in this climate now where it's difficult for you to get in because the system is designed in such a way that it almost feels like it's made to oppressed. It's made to like keep you down. Like, how do you speak hope and not false hope? How do you tell them like the actual facts of how to become successful entrepreneurs?
So here's the deal, bro. I don't know the answer to that yet because I'm not a fully successful entrepreneur.
Yeah,
but I'm going through it. And you're going through it. And so, to your point, like I've got the books, I've got the skills, and now we're putting it into action. And so it's a matter of like, to go back to Gary.
This is crazy, by the way. Hold up. I'm sorry. This is just crazy. Because like we went to the same church, like we did spoken word together, like we did some outreach together, like we had ciphers together.
We did.
Oh my bad. And I'm looking at you now. I'm like, man, this is dope.
We did some stuff.
I'm glad you grew. And
amen, bro. Amen.
In your
maturity. We can talk about that too.
Meaning he's calling himself childish.
I'm glad you grew in your maturity.
He's like, I'm glad you grew up, man. Because I didn't.
Evolved, man. Like
you did. I'm still a Toys R Us kid.
Like I've had to.
Toys R Us is closed down, and I'm like, I'm in denial.
I've had to. No. So don't get it twisted. Like,
go ahead.
There's moments.
Okay.
So to your question, let me answer your question because the viewers are like, you guys are all over the place.
Okay.
So to your question,
love it. Hand claps, gems. Gems.
I did. So the thing is, I did some production at Connecticut School of Broadcasting. So I did a whole 10-month thing there. So I know a little bit about this stuff.
There's our producer.
A little bit.
In his mind, he's like, that was wrong.
A little bit about the intros and how we should reset the conversation. Ron from Legendary Legacies. You know what I mean?
There's an art to this.
But in any case, how do we do that with the young men? Is we talk about the story that we're going through right now. Yep. We talk about like, we are growing this thing out of our pockets. It's broke. Like, you guys, we want to do this. How are we doing this? Like, we need y'all help with this. And we pull them into the whole conversation. We provide them with our nonprofit. Our desire as we continue to grow is they have ownership in what we're doing. Almost like a co-op, but not full co-op status.
Yeah.
But like, we're not going to have a brother go speak at a... So when you fundraise, so you got to fundraise for these things.
Yeah.
And so the way you fundraise for a lot of
this is radio too, bro.
The way you fundraise for a lot of these things is you have folks go and share their stories, which is dope. And so if we were to have a young man go share a story or something like that, we're explaining to him, okay, cool. This is how much we're hoping to raise there. When that money comes in, this is where that money is going to go to. Here's a piece that we're going to reinvest into you, whether it be a gift card or
you're gonna write a book, right?
I can. I mean. But like,
I don't have the publishing company yet, but I
want to write a book.
I'm
serious about my life and everything.
I can publish it.
But that's what we do. We're like, listen, this is transparency in the process is all I can. And it may not be the right thing, it may be the wrong thing, but I feel as a Christian, as a man of integrity, like that's what I should be doing. Because I felt like from myself, my own personal experience, like people have tried to keep a shroud over my eyes on stuff. And so whether right or wrong, and so you're making an informed decision on whether you want to be a part of this or not. Like, this is how this is going to go. And so it's not like, I'm pimping or prostituting you, but this is where that money's going to go. This is how that money comes in. This is how it helps the organization grow.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And so for yourself,
but I feel like that approach, in the long term, I feel like it would be more successful because one, if you're being that open with that person and tell them how everything works, that's a trust it's unbreakable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're moving in that space with integrity, I don't know. I feel like that's more effective than hiding it because now people already know, what you're going to do with it. So why question it? So it'll open, I feel, will open more opportunities for other people to contribute to your cause and to continue that going. Because it's like, it's hard nowadays where there's so many scandals, so many situations where people are stealing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got someone who's like, no, I'm not really going to steal because you're going to know every step of the way anyway.
Yeah.
It would be impossible for me to steal if I'm literally opening my books to you.
We try to pull them into as much as we can, explain to them what's going on. The other thing we hold our participants to a very high standard, a standard that they probably haven't been held to before. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people have compromised with them on certain things.
Okay.
And so, like, the standard, we're saying, you can operate at this level, like you can, and we're there to help coach you through that. We're not advice givers. Like, we use the term life coach. And when we talk about that is we use motivational interviewing, which is something that has been around for a while, but now like the substance use disorder community has really taken on. But it's more helping you figure out what you need to do.
Right.
It's not me sitting here saying you need to go over here and do this. Tomorrow you need to do that.
It's like that saying, like I can give you a fish, but I can give you a pole.
Exactly.
And teach you how to fish.
Right.
You know? So we sit down and we say to them, they're like, bro, what I'm trying to do, like one of the first things we do is when we sit down and we map out what their vision is,
right,
and their current reality.
Yeah, okay.
So cool. No, we don't even go to strengths. We don't even go to strengths.
So
what's your vision?
So this is where you want to be.
This is what you want to be and we get them dreaming, bro. And they dreaming like, yo, I'm gonna have a
and this
car,
is where you currently
I'm gonna have this. No, but you got to get them up here dreaming, right? And they hype. Because the reality is most of them ain't never dreamt like that.
Yeah.
Because
let me ask
accepted
you. Let me ask you real talk. Isn't that a form of, could it be a form of selling false hope?
No.
For something that's not achievable?
No.
So explain to me that. Because
what happens is we then bring them back and talk about what's your current reality. So we talking small, like cool, like you want to be able to, you want to have a house, you want to have a car, you're gonna have 3 chicks. That's what they all say. I'm gonna have. Bro, you gonna have enough of one. Like, anyway, like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. We're like cool. So then we go boom. So
how do we accomplish this?
No, we don't even ask them that first. Right. We just say, what's your current reality?
Right.
Oh, dang, bro. Like I'm staying at my man's house on his couch. I don't got a license.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. What I want you to recognize, and even I've had to recognize, is that this saying that stuck with me, bro. Change won't happen until the pain of staying the same is worse than the pain of change.
Nope, you can't. One more time.
Dad, say that one more time.
One more time.
Change is not going to happen until the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change.
Whew.
And so I've got to put in front of you how painful your reality is, so that you would start to have an impetus for yourself to change. That's like the strategy of what are those Gil? What is those the home people? They bring them to like this house that's way out of their budget. And
they're like, oh, this is perfect. They're like, yeah, you can't afford this.
Boom, bring you right back to
oops.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
But it happens to me every time I go to a restaurant I know I can't afford, and I'm like,
so what happened with my bank account? The way my bank account's set up.
Look out for the menus that don't have prices.
Yes,
you want to avoid
that. You want to avoid
Put it down and run.
Just run. We did it. Yo, me and wifey did that.
Unless you got money like that, then hey, enjoy.
Was you fronting like you was a baller? Or did you be like, oh man?
I was like oh, and then she was like, oh, and I was like, so how we walking out?
Yo, for real.
See, that's where I wish. I'm sorry, but that's where I wish I was bilingual. Because then I could have a conversation right there, and they wouldn't even know what I was saying. Like I'd be like, I say in a whole other language, right?
No, but at least
we get up and leave.
At least you knew better. My story was not so successful.
Yeah,
I went to a spot thinking like, oh, this is straight, whatever, nice place. They didn't know it was, like 5-star, but it seemed more like a lounge.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is chill. Menu comes, I'm like, all right, I guess I'm decent, got some steak tips and fries.
Word.
I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be bomb.
Right.
Man, when that thing comes for like $55, it didn't have a price. So I'm like, steak and french fries?
Right, what can that be?
I mean, that's not gonna be anything crazy. For steak tips and fries,
wow.
Bring me a filet mignon and I'll feel better about that decision.
Gold on them fries?
But steak tips and fries.
Wow.
But at least you saw it and you was like, you know what, babe?
You kept going with it.
Let's
So the strategy that you're doing is almost like you are doing the reverse thing. It's not false hope. It's like, hey, that's good to hope for. Here's where you're at. Like,
I need you to recognize.
So that's why you have them dream big, dream as big as you want.
To make their current situation worse.
Because I need you to feel the pain of your situation.
Gotcha. Okay.
In order for you to talk about and maybe explore like, this is just.
I'm still going through that right now.
Are you ready to change?
Yo, I'm still going through that right now.
I do that every day when I'm like, do I stop here and get this burger or do I keep eating healthy?
Facts.
Heck yeah.
Facts,
like real talk. Like, am I ready to change? Like, I can talk it.
Yep.
right? But am I ready?
Or habits?
No, but you know what, man?
Sometimes you can cut some coffee out.
But I'm a rebuke. No, but for real, we gotta rebuke them ads that they be putting out there, man.
What, like what? The juicy?
The
juicy?
The Wendy's.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? The KFC with their new Cheeto chicken sandwich. And they make it all glistening with the just freshly fried chicken on that bun with the Cheetos sticking out.
They come on at 10:35 on your phone at 11 o'clock at night, trying to go to bed.
I don't even like Cheetos, and that sandwich looks delicious. I'm like, that looks disgusting, but I want it.
But I'm gonna try it out.
When you think about it separately, like, yo, you want to put some Cheetos in your chicken sandwich? You'd be like, get up out of my face. But when they put the logo on it, and they go, Cheetos chicken sandwich. You're like, Okay, start puckering up.
Did you have any that kind of like rebelled against that way of thinking? Like, did you have any that were stubborn? And
they all do.
Yeah. So what do they say? Oh no, that's right now, man. Like that's just my current situation.
So here's the thing we talk about. Like, here's the reality. We also tell them from the very beginning.
Do they usually start with, so what had happened was?
They're like, no, that's because
where you at now?
No, they don't. I'm gonna tell you what a lot of them I've seen. It's like, nah, bro, I'm with it. And then once they leave, we don't hear from them again.
Because it
hit. Like, I'm not ready to do that. Well, I think part of it is like, I'm not like, yo, that's not like, I've heard people come like, yo, that's not what I'm on. Like, I'm looking for a quick fix. Like, I'm looking for a job right now. I'm looking for this to happen quick. Like, bro, this is a process, fam. Like there's like you talked about, there's habits.
So they think they're coming in and you're just gonna give them a job and that's it.
But I'm not we're not a job agency.
That's not what you are.
We're not a job program. Like, if you want a job program, that's cool. I'll refer you to a job program.
Right.
We're a life transformational program.
Right.
So we're trying to transform your life, bro.
Yeah. Love it.
Transform your thinking.
If your mindset
be renewed by the transforming of your mind.
Facts.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Because if your mindset is not on building, then the quick fix is gonna come and go. Because you're not trying to build anything. There's no goal. There's no, you know what I'm saying, place you want to get to. So the job, literally your boss could get you upset. You'd be like, you know what? I quit.
And so what we're talking about too, what you said, not to a little bit push back, but like, we're trying to get them out of a goal mindset.
Yeah.
I want them in a growth mindset.
Right.
Because in a goal mindset, once I've got that, then, okay, I got it. Then what? I want you in a constant growth mindset.
Right.
So cool. Once you got that,
I like that.
What's next? Shifting from a goal outlet to growth mindset. Right. What are we growing on?
So this
next?
is like pattern building and like
it's
learning
transforming
what it's
the
like.
way you're thinking.
It's
because a lot of our guys, and I can speak from my own personal experience, especially like when you've been through like, you know, really difficult situations, homelessness, loss of parent, whatever. Like, you develop these survival techniques that have worked for you for so long.
Right. Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
But they only work in a certain context.
Yes.
And so once you get you reach a ceiling with that, and it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
you got to change.
I got to either, or I'm going to keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And once that stuff gets found out, like once people figure that out, and that's who you got to find new victims to run the game on,
right?
Or you got to change.
So I feel like you're almost like a school.
We're coaches.
I feel like you're like teaching them like, hey, school should have been teaching like entrepreneurship.
Yeah, schools have lessons.
Finance.
He's more
from a young age, like
he's
really
more guiding.
Guidance.
It's more guiding.
But I'm saying, but it's almost like re-educating them. Well, not even just educating them straight up on certain things that they probably should have.
Well, like, it's like I look at it like this, y'all. Like, these dudes, like a lot of the guys, even myself,
do you follow
have
me, though,
seen.
as far as not being aware, not being educated on finances and all these other things.
So this is my analogy for what you're saying.
High school to college
is like
high school to death.
Their whole life they've gotten to a hallway and they've seen 3 doors. And they've gone through these 3 doors every time. By the way,
so you see how easy Toys R Us kid over here, man. You know what I mean?
These 3 doors. And all we're saying is, yo, guess what, bro? There's 2 more doors over here that you didn't look at yet. Yeah. Maybe just check them out for a little bit and see what's going on in them. Right? And see what happens. Like, just go. And we give them space to experiment with those things. So like, we take, like, we're in August, in September, we're taking a group of guys from the block, from the hood, to go hike a mountain.
No. I love it.
It takes about 4 hours to get up this mountain.
I love it.
With a 60-pound pack on your back, right?
Why 60?
That's what it comes out to be, I guess. With all your gears, that's what they told us.
He's just telling you facts. It's not like Ron was like 60 pounds.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Sure. I'm like, dang, man, that's a very specific number.
It may not even be true.
It's part of the program.
It's like, all y'all gonna have 60-pound packs on your back.
Scientific.
But the reality is,
I designed it that way because 666 is the devil, and I want you to carry the devil all the way up, and then let him go.
Wow.
When you get to the top, because that equals victory.
I thought that was
oh man,
a minister over there.
Everything
I don't
got
have
meaning.
Sow a seed.
All I have is
right now.
I don't have anything else. So
invest in us for 1995.
You're supposed to be like, yeah, turn to your neighbor.
But in doing that, what we're looking to, back to what we talked about earlier, that is a rite of passage that we are implementing into our program as actually the like orientation. Like if you really want to rock with us, like we are holding you accountable to being a part of this and hiking this mountain, because guess what? It sucks. There's no doubt about it. Like you get tired, you're carrying a pack. It gets steep. It's 4 hours, 3.5 miles.
Wow.
It's 3.5 miles, 4,000 feet. But what they've told us, every thousand feet of elevation, add an extra mile, because the extra like the elevation makes it harder. So it feels like you did 6 miles, right? And so what we're saying is like, bro, like we want you to experience that physically in your body, because there's going to be moments when we're like, yo, you need to work on your permit, or you need to work on going to get this figured out. It's going to feel like when you were on that mountain, you wanted to give up, you wanted to quit, and it was heavy.
Nice.
But we can say, listen, you persevered, fam. Like you have the audacity and you have the strength within you to be able to overcome that stuff. Okay. And so we each have a common. We all have a common foundation to refer back to. Right. And we do it with them. Bro. And so that builds community. It builds connection. It's no different. But I told when we
put yourself in it, so they can't be like, you didn't even do it. How do you know what I feel? You didn't do it.
I'm there. And in that way, I'm not saying we are him, but in that way, we're saying, listen, this is some Jesus stuff. Like he came down to experience the same thing that he wasn't like, go ahead, go through that. Let me see what it's like to suffer and sacrifice. Like he's like, listen, I'm going to become human, so I know what the weight of that temptation feels like. And so now my grace is pain. I know what that stuff feels like. Like I know what that is.
That's
and
crazy.
So I can. My compassion is different. Like I resonate with you differently,
bro. That is like my whole Christian walk up until this point right now. Realizing that grace. Like it has been like an ongoing lesson of grace. Ongoing failure, success, or you think. You have success, right, you get puffed up, you're like, oh, I got this, man. I could trust in myself. And then bam, failure, success, battle scars, wounds. And then you go from, the fiery preacher, bringing down, stones of fire on everybody, to the guy begging, pleading with people like, please believe. Like, man, this is like, you don't see. Yeah. You don't have the spiritual eyes to see what real oppression is. Yeah. That's real oppression, right? Yeah. Spiritual, nothing. It's not even oppression. It's like dead, gone. You know what I mean? Yeah. Being born again, revived, and then seeing with those eyes for the first time. And then that's why they say when you're young in the faith, like don't let him come in at an early stage, because he'll be puffed up with pride, because the young man has that, that ambition, that hunger, that I want to go get it. You want to perform, man. You want to perform physically. You want to, you know what I mean? Like it's just masculinity. That's the way it is. Yeah. That's why we have boxing and UFC and all these things. You know what I mean?
And fam, I'm gonna tell you, like, bro, I feel
about to wrestle right now.
Why do you think I said the word angry?
About to wrestle right now.
But when we work on this with them. We're telling them from the rip, like, there's going to be tension.
But hold on. Let me make a point real quick why I went off on that tangent. Yeah. Is that it's important to have that kind of grace. Because you're not God. If you're blinded to your own sin, you have no compassion for the lost. Yeah. You gotta the reality of your own sin. You gotta be in touch
with your own sin.
The reality of your own sin and your own failures is what makes you go out and plead. Yeah. Not with pride. Yeah. Not knocking people down. Right. Some people
place of humility at that point.
Right. Some people think it's like it's almost like a thing to be praised. If you're like John the Baptist, go out there and yell to everybody. And like there's an appropriate way to do things. And you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like we are called as husbands, as fathers, as men to provide for families. Right. That's part of our obligation.
Right.
So we have to abide by certain rules, and according to our bosses, we can't be going out there acting like crazy guys, eating locusts and honey. Like, oh, you guys, no. They're like, nah, man. Like, there's giving God glory and just being faithful to your current employer.
I feel you.
You know,
and I'm saying, that's.
But go ahead. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that grace is important.
The grace of it,
because you're not looking down on them. You're not like, bro.
So there's a great book by again, man. This dude his name's Father Greg Boyle. He started Homeboy Industries, and he's come to Holy Cross and spoken a couple things. Homeboy Industries is the largest gang reconciliation organization in the world. Catholic priest, like, he's doing crazy stuff with it. Like, you can anyway. But he talks about kinship as intervention, and so what he's saying is, like, that brotherhood, that connection of, like, we're equal, we're even. I'm not higher than you. Is what they look at as how they provide intervention work with their gang members. So absolutely, like you said, no, I don't look down on any of these guys I work with.
Yeah.
Right? Because just like you said, man, like, they're struggling with maybe smoking weed, but if let's keep it a buck, like, I might be struggling with pornography. I might be struggling with anger. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have these things, like, and so we put these different weights and
right,
on sin,
almost like our own judges.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we start and so we start
playing
these
God.
different
we start playing God.
We start becoming pharisaical.
Facts.
Is what happens. Like,
Facts.
well, I don't have issue with that, but you.
Yeah, that's a real dope word, man.
You know what I mean?
But yo, why you being pharisaical, man?
Why you being pharisaical, man?
Man, stop that.
Yo, we should do like the words. I think I said that one time. I think I actually said that one time.
But pharisaical? I never heard that.
Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, so that's like we meet them right where they are, and within appropriate reason, we share some of our own struggles.
Facts.
Yeah.
I got you, Fortnite. I see you.
You know what I mean?
Fortnite.
Yeah, somebody's in here making comments. So we can't be proud, don't judge because we sin different. Don't judge because we sin different.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I get what he's saying. He's saying, like, listen, just because I don't sin the way you sin doesn't make me any better than you.
Right. Although there are levels of consequences to those, right?
However,
go ahead.
The sin, which is the Greek term.
Greek term. Hand clap. I love it. Go ahead.
I'm forgetting it right now. I said it.
Pastor. Philanthropist.
Social activist.
Founder of. Oh, you got the list. You got the list. I'm my bad.
But that Greek haramatano, I believe is the word.
Okay.
What? Hakuna Matata?
Haramatano, I believe is the word.
Okay.
For
another
sin.
word.
And it's an archery term though. Which means to miss the mark. So this is what changed my whole mindset when I understood this, because it says so I need to repent of sin, right?
Yeah.
And so repenting is changing the way I think about something.
Facts.
So here's the deal.
Yeah.
When I open that up and understand that it's an archery term of missing the mark. The mark is on the target, the point blank, like the bullseye, right? Like that's the target.
Yeah.
And so when I repent of my sin, I change the way I think about missing the target, the way I think about missing God's goal.
God's purpose.
Yeah. I change the way I think about that.
Yeah.
Because before I'm over here with it, my arrow, I'm hitting this with it. But sin is to miss the mark. And so I want to be on the mark. And so I change the way I think about missing what God's called me to do. And that's what it is. And so first of all, how can I ask someone to change the way they think about missing what God's called them to do unless I've already exposed to have taught them what has God called them to do? Who is God told them they are?
Right.
Who has He designed you to be?
How do you identify yourself? What is your purpose? What are you doing?
And so when we talk about
all about,
and so when we talk with our young men, we don't have a gang problem in Worcester. We absolutely don't.
Go ahead. Okay,
we have an identity issue. We have an identity crisis.
Ooh.
We have young men who have an identity crisis.
Wow.
It's not a gang problem. It's an identity crisis.
So,
they don't know who they
formulate their own group.
I don't know
and
who
that's what
I
they
am.
identify with.
I don't know who I am, but I know that I need love. And I see other people hurting like me.
Yeah.
And so they come around and they all produce this community, which the church, to help heal and deal with my pain. Now, I believe that the Bible talks
Y'all,
about
if
an
y'all ain't
organism
in here,
that's
you
supposed
need to
do
get in
that,
here.
and that's called the church.
Share this, please. Yes. Amen. Amen. Yes. Renewing your mind.
That's what the church is supposed to be
you're
doing.
Right. You're right. You're bringing them in, calling to the nations. Why? Making them disciples. For what? To come into the church. For what? To hear, renew your mind and go back out and do what?
And
Get more disciples. Get more come in. Renew your mind.
That's what the church is supposed to be doing. As far as engaging our community where they are and helping them understand who has God called
Mr.
you to
Busker,
be.
what up?
Who has He established you from the beginning, before the foundations of the earth? Right. And so once we talk about that, and we can begin to open that process up.
Junito.
But before I can get there,
Junito's in
June, what up, baby? That's my man.
June, what happened, bro?
I
had a third mic set up for you.
You got 7 kids, man. You know, that's how it is.
There you go.
Six.
There you go.
He give him an extra kid.
Yeah.
Man, you got so many kids. I'm adding.
He got a new one every week.
He added his a little bit.
No.
Got 7 today.
For real.
Have fun.
True, in this economy, at this point, you a show off.
Wow.
That's real. That's
up.
He's showing off, man. I got 6 kids. I'm
there's
good.
pride right there.
But here's the thing, right? Before I can even, the way I look at it, before I can even bring you to the gospel and break that down for you, I've got to help you see what that looks like in your context, in your
Hold
culture.
up. That's pragmatism.
Yes.
Wait, say that again?
That's pragmatism, man.
I've got to show.
That's wrong. You can't.
No, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
What I'm saying is the whole vision, current
That's
reality.
pragmatic.
The whole
Which is problematic.
The whole vision, current reality scenario.
Go ahead.
Is now what I've shown you is what you've talked about, what you want to be, what you could be. But I've shown you where you are. How is that any different than when I say, cool, this is what the gospel says.
Right.
But this is where you are right now.
Right.
And so sanctification is nothing but going from this current reality to this goal that God's called you to do. So I'll meet you where you are.
Bro, I feel like some people, I don't know
and
what
they may
it is.
agree or disagree with
like,
me. But guess what? I'm going to tell you what. It's getting results. And so when it stops getting results and you got gang members praying and reading scriptures and doing that, then come talk to me.
Facts.
When they sitting down doing that with you,
when we
and you doing it in a different way,
when we talk about regeneration, let's say spiritually, theologically, okay, I'm usually the one that's like, let's just talk and chop it up and not get theological with it because I just want to just talk regular.
I do too.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of want to do with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't designed to be. Matter of fact, you can see my notes. I have like big bold red letters. This is not a men's group. Like this is not like this is designed to be like us chilling, just open dialogue.
Word.
You know, and sharing our Christian worldview about things.
Word.
You know. And just freely talk about whatever.
Word.
What's trending out there? What's the news saying? What is it? That's what it was designed.
Yeah.
So, but for this scenario, I want just for the sake of comparing these two that you're talking about, theologically, regeneration is the person spiritually dead, cannot understand anything of God whatsoever until he heareth the word. Faith cometh by hearing, right? And then when he hears the word, if the Lord has called to him, drawn him to him, he hears. His sheep know him by name. When he calls, they come. Someone's preaching, here they come. The ones, and God does the power of regeneration in the soul, and then boom, there's the repentance, there's the blah blah, all the
Amen.
The great. I don't want to say blah blah blah. Sorry,
No,
I'm gonna
turn the scripture into
The most important part and the blah blah blah.
There's my
Guy's a Christian.
See, I
he
can
goes
use
to
excuses
heaven.
too, man. Like,
Blah 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 meets Jesus.
I'm oppressed.
You know,
Sorry. No. Let me stop. No, but so. In this case, it reminds me of Jesus coming to the woman at the well and explaining simple things to her. Yeah, it reminds me of pretty much how he comes to most of the people he comes up to and explains things that are way over the head. They're super theological sermons even. Yeah, but it's still talking to a people of a culture, of a time, of using all the logical things that they're currently using in these systems there. Yeah. It wasn't like, you know what? Oh my goodness, you're the Messiah. It was logic, talking, conversing, going back and forth, reasoning. Yeah. There's still the sense of logic and brain and using your head and having a conversation. Yeah. it gets silly to a point where you could put like the gospel and a fortune cook. I mean, yeah, no, somebody can get saved from that. Let me reverse it. But if I was like a ministry, if the church was just like, we're only going to do this to evangelize.
I'm not gonna lie, that would be the most delicious gospel I've ever eaten.
What I'm saying is this: like, if there was a church, if the church as a whole collectively said, we're going to share the gospel one way, and that's by writing things on little what do you call them, the gospel tracts. That's it. We're not going to proclaim nothing. It's still neglecting the call to go out and proclaim.
Fact.
So that you can't sidestep it. You can't like try to.
How messed up that would be.
You know what I mean?
How messed up that would be for it to be your testimony. Like, yo, you got saved? Yeah.
How'd you get saved?
I opened up this fortune cookie, bro. It changed my life, literally.
Yo, I opened up this fortune cookie.
I just got done eating some lo mein and General Gals, bro.
Yo, Chinese.
And you ain't gonna believe what just happened to me.
Food is spiritual. I got edified every time I went up in there, man. I was
like, I got saved by my Mugu got pants.
But you know what though?
Just start blessing people with fortune cookies. Bam! Bam! Open that. There's your fortune.
Yo.
I feel you, man.
Go ahead. My bad.
No, that's just
no. So for you, it's coming alongside. It's educating people. It's the truth. You have the truth, and you're coming alongside, just showing them a different way and being responsible, learning the systems that are out there. But then at the same time, what's the motive? You're showing them that motive, and I'm sure when you got those opportunities,
the big.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that happens, man, and people say, oh, because the way the nonprofit stuff is crazy, because you got to produce you got to produce certain what they call you have to measure your impact. So you measure sales, like whatever, right?
Yeah.
So in the nonprofit sector, you measure impact. So impact is like
so there's a metric for that.
Facts.
Is there a digital?
No, you determine your own. You determine your own.
That's dangerous.
It is.
Okay.
It can be very. You determine your own scale, or some grants that you apply for will determine what your impact and outcomes look like. Follow me? So, for instance, like one of the things we look at is in producing impact is we want to talk about for those of us for young men that have been engaged in our program, how has their thinking shifted?
Right.
So there's an assessment that you can use to measure that.
Really?
Yes.
Do you trust it?
I trust it because it is PhD backed. It's proven by TCU.
Have you seen it? TCU. Can you measure? Have you seen the measures?
We've seen the measures shift. We can bring it here to the show. It's called the criminal thinking scale.
Dope. Wow.
Because every one of us has a level of criminal thinking.
Oh man. We ain't doing that on the show.
We need Brent for this one.
There's a baseline.
We're gonna need Brent for this.
I gotta hide that one.
You know what I'm saying? But
Brent, if you're listening right now, I know you probably like, no.
But
I wanted to be
shout out to Brent.
Like criminal, like. So you wouldn't think stuff like certain things we wouldn't think is criminal thinking, but it's criminal thinking when we do certain things like. I know you guys have never done this.
Go ahead. Maybe I have.
I'm gonna get my wife flowers so that later on I could do this. That's criminal thinking.
Hand clasps.
That's not criminal.
Where's my hand clasp? That's not criminal thinking.
That's manipulation.
Yo, bro. I hope there's no females on this.
Listen.
This is inside school.
I'm doing this with the intention.
We're supposed to go against the right system.
I'm doing this with the intention of that later on I'll be able to get this done.
Right.
That's a level of criminal thinking.
So even if it's
how about selling? How about sales?
Part of it. So if you're like, yo,
sales can be a form.
You want to know where some of the most off the chart criminal thinkers are?
Sales.
Wall Street.
Sales.
Yeah. Yeah. And they sell as well. Salesmen. I 100% agree with you because I've been in sales, so I know. You got to.
I wonder where Gil's brain is at. Gil, you my boy, bro. You know all my secrets, man. Like what? But I gotta watch my back with this criminal.
We have to measure impact. You know,
it's a criminal over here.
And one of the ways we're trying to figure out a way to measure, like, how do we measure the power of a relationship as it relates to transformation? Like that's such a amorphous thing to try to get your hands around. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like
it's got to be like a SIMS thing. It's got to be some sort of
like if there's anybody out there help us?
It sounds like a marketing tool. It sounds like how many likes you get.
You want to know
how much engagement you have.
How do you measure the impact a relationship has on transformation?
That's what they're trying to do right now in the marketing agencies. When it comes to data, like what you're talking about, metrics.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Those little like buttons, those are not designed for you to be like, oh, I like that.
I know. Yeah.
No, that's data. They're collecting data.
No doubt.
Oh, you like that. Let's see the keywords that you like.
Bro.
Oh, you love that. Oh, there's a difference in the algorithms that they design. And you know me, I go off the algorithms. I know. I see Gil, I can see you on the screen, bro.
No, but that's
not
real.
in your head. But the marketing agencies, they collect this data. They have algorithms designed for this.
I remember seeing one of the execs from one of the social media.
Do you think that's scary though?
I think it's very scary. Because
but do you think it's necessary?
Do I think it's necessary?
So you're trying to get grants. How do you?
I think everything is useful, but nothing's necessary.
But you need it for grants and stuff to show those metrics.
Right, but I get to determine what my metrics are, and so we're saying like we believe that part of what shifts in the course of transformation is the relationship, and so how do we measure how a relationship shifts and creates transformation?
Wow,
you know what I'm saying? So that's what we're looking at. How do we begin to capture that type of information?
You're actually trying to design this?
If it's out, we're trying to figure it out. Like we're meeting with folks, we're meeting with Clark University, we're meeting with Holy Cross. We're trying to figure out. We have a very
that's interesting, man.
We have a very
that's crazy.
We have a very interesting logic model because actually what we do was a PhD, a dissertation was done on what we do called Discipleship Dyads by Brian Minnick. He got his PhD from. He's the pastor at First Assembly. He got his PhD at Northeastern. And so his dissertation was on discipleship dyads and how the power of these relationships can shift and change folk. And so based off of that research that he did with us and each one of us it was dope project, man. Like he met with us and then he met with, we had three different guys that we were working with. And he met with us, talked about how we do what we do. And then he met with each one of them individually without us knowing or being privy. It was confidential.
Okay.
And then after it brought back our brought back what we said in transcript form and had us read it to make sure it was on point. And then at the end, that was the first time we got to see what the guys were saying about what the relationship
gotcha. Oh, so like. Surveys, like forms of surveys.
It wasn't even a survey. This was just straight dialogue.
Okay,
honestly,
that's dope.
So how would you say?
Just real talk.
What does it look like working with, like being in relationship with Ron?
So you get the word of mouth directly
you know what I mean?
from.
And so in that, that was one of the most powerful moments because you're just doing the work and you don't realize who's this Isaiah again. No, it's Josh this time. Hold on, man. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Love you.
Well, what I was thinking is that it's very similar.
You can't right now. You can say what's up real quick.
Say what's up. Yeah. The other one. What up?
So what I was saying is
I might sign one of them little ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
Yeah, boom.
If my daughter was here, she'd be doing the same thing.
What up? The little ones are coming in for the people listening on the, should I say radio? I can't say.
I apologize. Them dudes.
I can't say the other thing.
And you say show.
Show? There you go.
So what I was thinking is that it's very similar to Facebook. In Facebook, the way they get, everything that they do is through, like Marrio was saying, data.
Yeah.
So if it all comes down to behaviors.
You hear about the war cloud? Did you guys hear about that?
No.
The war cloud?
Hold on, let me finish this.
Military is, go ahead.
Hold on, let me finish this. Hold on.
I'm about to put you
before
on.
I forget,
put me on.
Because what you were saying is how can you quantify what you're putting in and how that relates to relationships and things like that. Obviously, it's not as simple as this because I don't know code. I don't know all that. But I can see that a platform similar to like Facebook where they're basically just receiving data. So you can put like all these different decisions and see based on what you guys are putting into them. How they react to these questions or how they react to these scenarios.
That's what Netflix
and that
does.
Data will allow you to see what's being effective and what isn't.
That's true.
That's data.
Similar
you
to
have the
how
answers.
Facebook.
So
they put these ads and see
they're farming.
who clicks on this.
They're
Why did you click
for
on
the
this?
answers.
It's all behavior. So that's what he was saying. Like they segregate people based on your behaviors. You click a lot on religious stuff. we're going to put you in the religious square.
Right.
And,
I got you.
Quantifiably, it's good for them because now they know how to market to you. They know who to sell your information to for ads and things like that. Oh, you have a Bible app? Yeah. I have a group that would love that. Yeah. If you pay this, we'll put you in this circle and it'll go crazy.
That's why I try to mess with the algorithms intentionally, though.
It's all,
I subscribe to Breitbart.
Really?
Absolutely.
Right?
Really?
Yeah.
So what's the logic behind it?
Right.
Is that my algorithm? Hopefully, I don't know if this is true.
Okay.
I'm not,
he's messing around.
But my algorithm is so ridiculous. Like they can't box me in.
So you throw them off.
I try
You're
to grab.
Intentionally throwing them off.
I try to grab like opposite.
Claps.
Like I'm a Republican and Democrat. Like I try to grab as much as like
he's intentionally throwing them off.
I try.
That's smart.
Opposing views on everything.
I like that.
So that they can't
box you in.
Yeah, that's what I try to do.
So you got the dudes at Facebook, like
I like that.
Like the dudes with the
I don't know.
Back in the day, with the cords when they're trying to connect you. So you got them like, I'm gonna get him. One of these days he's gonna slip.
I like to think I do.
Real talk. Do you have experience with Facebook marketing at all?
Not really.
At all?
Like very minimal. Like I know I get mad likes. I measure my stuff on.
But that's a form of.
I got mad likes.
Yo, that's a form.
I should say I see how many people are reached with my posts. I see like very basic.
Calculate,
yeah. They'd be like, oh, you reached 750 people with this one organically.
Hold on, somebody's texting.
They'd be like, boost it. I'd be like, I ain't paying for that.
I ain't paying for that.
Like. I'd rather, take a dude out to eat.
That's for that reason. But by you paying, they allow you to get out of that box.
Yeah.
That's your way out of that box.
Right. So you play by the rules, and the thing is that you're targeting, bro. Like when you're using the ads, like you are the one.
Don't you notice?
You're using the system that they're using to target you.
Facts.
Yeah.
But you notice that you're always seeing...
All right, I want them to age and everything. Like, when you actually figure out how everything works, you're like, I'm targeting all my... Like, you need the data. You need the data to reach
all these platforms,
the
you notice, they only show you what's like in your immediate.
Yeah.
You notice if you go in your friends list, you'll be like, Dag, I haven't seen that person.
Right.
Go to your friends list right now and you'll be like, oh, I forgot I had this person.
That's true.
Because that's Facebook. They just put you with the people you interact with, the people you talk to. They create your community.
Facts. Yeah.
So you got people out there thinking like their message is going to the masses.
But it's only hitting
it's only hitting probably maybe 40 people out of your 5,000.
How many times you met somebody at a concert and then you're like, oh yeah, friend me on Facebook. And you're like, oh we friends.
Facts. That's happened to me mad times.
Are we friends already? Like, what?
I already have you.
Shoot.
Oh, man. Oh, what up?
I knew that, bro.
Or the opposite. Like, you have them on our friends as Facebook, and you see them, and they're like, trying to ignore you, like they don't really see you. Like, you see me, bro. You don't. I'm not asking for a convo, but you could be like
media friends. Like,
but you know what's funny?
You can hit me with a.
You know what's funny about that? Like, so my 20th high school reunion is coming up. Just can't put my age out there, but my 20th high school reunion is coming up.
20th?
20th. It's bananas.
You don't even look like the 20th.
20th high school reunion. So then it's like, what am I going back for? I already know what y'all doing. Like, I already, like, Facebook, like, I've seen
never stopped being friends.
We're going to talk about. Like, I already know what y'all doing.
Yeah,
like,
I see the whole story.
Like,
you going to talk about the business I already know you started?
I'm glad you brought that up because that hurts too. Because, like, maybe I shouldn't bring it up. If you're trying to market, if you're trying to put yourself out there, whatnot, to build
now I want to know what you was thinking.
To build relationships, right, as a brand.
Yeah.
To build as a brand, you have to communicate some sort of story or narrative that the people can connect to.
Yeah.
Because they're not building with you. Like we got people from Australia jumping in and listening. Like they don't. I know some people are like, "Why are you posting like you over here?" Like, I actually need to do it more because I got to think of those people. But why are you posting over here? Because these people don't know. Like, a lot of people don't have the opportunity to just sit down in the Marrio Esco live and we could just kick it at the podcast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and for that purpose, when it comes to marketing and promotion and whatnot, you do have to sort of be in front of the camera. You do have to communicate something.
Yeah.
You can't be one of the grumpy old guys like,
No.
I'm not using this thing. Like, no, the kids are using it. No, you have to infiltrate and be involved. That's where the people are at. Go where the people are at.
Well, especially our community, especially our population that we're trying to reach. Young men 17 to 24. They're on social media. That's where they live.
That's why I got to do a TikTok now. Like,
that's where they exist, bro.
For real. You know what I mean? TikTok is blowing up. I'm not gonna lie. You ever heard of TikTok?
Nah, I'm not familiar with that.
There's this new thing where it's like clips, movie clips, or songs, anything, and you voice it with your mouth.
Wow.
So it's huge. Like you got the people like acting it out, like acting out the scene, acting all animated. But the voice is the scene, and you know what I mean? Like it's just them. Some people dress up. Like my nephew does this. And he dresses up like Spider-Man, and he'll do like scenes from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. He's like, yo, I got 3,000 followers. And I'm like,
3,000 followers?
You got 3,000? That's crazy.
Man, you killing more than us.
I'm proud. He does got more than us.
Are you guys?
Maybe we should get some Spider-Man suits.
Not anymore.
Are you guys starting to tap into?
Well, we can't announce that yet.
That's G14.
Yeah, we can't announce it.
Classify. Yeah. Are you guys starting to step into like flash briefings?
Flash.
Go ahead, talk
about it with those.
No, go ahead.
So at this point, so your podcast is dope.
Thank you. Hand claps.
You keep messing around, you're gonna be secretly our manager.
Yeah, for real.
Like a lot of people now are getting their news and information from smart devices like the Echo or the Google Home.
Okay.
And so these flash briefings, you might have heard them. They're like 2 to 3 minute long. Little mini podcasts about what's going on, and then you can customize your whole deal. So I want to hear from the BBC. I want to hear the NBA. I want to hear it, and I want to hear this.
And you get your information. Boom.
I get a flash briefing
on demand.
When I jump in the shower, I get a flash briefing on these things that I'm doing, and I'm off for my day. And I just got my information like that.
Where is it? So what do they have? Like what?
Flash briefings, like you can make them.
What is it? Like an app that you?
So I just got introduced to these the other day on LinkedIn. My dude down in Tennessee, shout out to Corner to Corner.
I never heard of it.
Doing these things.
You're hearing it first on Marrio Esco.
And he was like, yo, we're setting up to do these flash briefings because so many people are getting their news that way. And this dude who does it follows the dude who did it for him. Follows the trends on that stuff, and he was like, "This is what we're looking like."
So it's like information condensed.
Yes, bro.
It's like
boom.
Yes, so it'd be like
you get your information and you go.
So we took this podcast and he condensed what we talked about today into 3 minutes. Boom.
There you go. I love it.
And that was the flash. That's the flash briefing.
I mean, it takes work, but I love it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I want to get into.
So many people are getting their news, their information.
Well, I'm redistribute. Should I? Man, I talk too much. Never mind.
So no, I found this out.
Give it all out.
I found this out because like one of my friends, like I was over his crib and like he was like, Alexa, give me today's news, right? And so like the joint was like, today in the BBC, like gave him stuff from England, and he was like, today
we need that.
Then they gave him the Canadian news, then they gave him like the Australian news,
we need
then
that,
they gave him
bro.
the American news, but it all happened in like 20 minutes. Like these are the top stories in these countries. Boom. He was like, all right, cool.
We need that 20 minutes right before the show.
He was like, all right, cool.
That's like the Matrix. You just downloaded that real quick. Like
That's like
everything happening
it's like
in the
an
world.
automatic title generator for a podcast.
I was like, wow.
Legit. Pretty soon, Alexa's gonna do the show.
Yeah, she's gonna tell us what to
be like. Alexa,
Alexa, what are we talking about?
The host today. No problem.
Here's
today
the bullets.
We have.
Thank you. Now we're on point.
We want to thank all of our partners.
Yeah, man.
So, Revenant.
So I thought y'all might want to jump onto that.
I want to.
I just found out about it yesterday.
I do. I actually do.
Be like, yo, I thought y'all might have. I know you.
I never heard of it. Honestly, I never heard of it. But now that you mentioned it, we're gonna look at that.
It sounds like makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I heard of it in the form of for books.
Okay.
Like it's like an entrepreneur app
or something like that,
where you can get like books,
Cliff Notes.
You know, basically it condenses the book.
That's how I did my
to the
book
meat.
reports.
Like
Cliff Notes.
what is the meat of the book, and it just kind of like what you just said, consolidates it, and it's just like basically the book is boom, 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 boom. Next.
Yeah.
So you can literally get the core message of like $5-10 within an hour.
Right.
Yep.
I'm like, that's kind of crazy.
It is.
So that's similar, but they're using it for general.
Yeah. Whatever. Y'all can create one and
that's
whatever.
Dope. Yeah, because I mean,
dope.
I can do all that. So
you know what I mean?
That's dope.
Yeah. So that's dope.
Good tip. Thank you for that.
That kind of stuff. And I feel like that's what. We're lacking. So we're big on the transformational stuff, but like as an organization, we haven't really been able to tap into like the technology of stuff and getting these dudes plugged in.
The marketing. Here we go. This stuff like this, bro.
Like getting these dudes plugged into this kind of stuff, like getting them on, like to touch the stuff and get their hands on it.
You could subcontract us.
No. So the reality is, like, that's you.
We love to do deals right on the show.
The reality is, we could do something, fellas. Like we can sit down and write a grant.
Ooh, y'all hear this?
Okay.
On
we'll discuss this after because I might have to edit this out.
Well, just saying, like,
some of our partners be like, "Oh, he could write us all a grant."
He's like, "Oh my goodness, our phones are off the hook right now. You don't even have a phone number.
Y'all can't. I can't because we're a 501c3.
So he's not Ron Waddell. I'm going to take your name off. You're going to get hit up. When you get hit up, you better hit me up.
But we partnered with Marrio Esco Live to provide. I don't know. What would you call what you do? This is what?
This is a show, live show.
I understand, but all the stuff that goes in it, what is that? Production? Like what
Production,
is it?
yeah.
Right. Yep. So we partner to expose our guys to hard skills. We provide the soft skills as far as transformation. They all provide the hard skills as far as hand-on production, and they're learning a skill.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Let's talk.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
let's talk.
That's innovative. Like,
I'm going to pause this.
That's innovative and dope. Like, people aren't doing that.
I'm going to jump into a track.
And how many organizations is allowing kids to see production? Like,
go touch it. Go fool with it. That's
like real production.
Get it right. Like, and I'm going to tell you what's dope is.
Hold on. I'm going to jump into a track. We're going to talk.
And Mario was worried we wouldn't have enough content.
We'll be back.
Battle to the death, fighting till I take my last breath, till there's nothing left, till this flesh, till this past tense. Got up on the fence, henceforth this intense. I was lost, now a friend, now a force with the pen for the Lord. Lord, yeah, I do it for the Lord, walking through it with a sword. We a crew in one accord. If you knew it, you would board on the board. To my soldiers standing firm, steady, ready for the war.
It comes lurking in the night and broad day. Sensations, temptations, yeah. There's only one price to pay to turn away, and it was paid with blood, paid with love, yeah.
Before I would've ignored that. Now he's with me, enemies with me, wanna come get me stalled at. There is no bringing this all back. Let it go, man, let him die. Holy Ghost is set aside. Holy Ghost, I set him high. Before him, I was dead inside, but now alive where he resides. Not alive, there's no facade. He's fully God, no better God. The pride inside is set aside. Matter of fact, it's genocide. And every single sin committed within because of the sovereign king who set it right. Battle to the death, fighting till I take my last breath. Till there's nothing left, till this flesh, till this past tense. Got up on the fence, henceforth this intense. I was lost, now a friend, now a force with the pen for the Lord. Lord, yeah, I do it for the Lord, walking through it with a sword. We a crew in one accord. If you knew it, you would board on the board. To my soldiers standing firm, steady, ready for the war.
God forgive me for being too weak, for not falling down on my knees. And Lord, and I'm begging you, please give me the strength I need to fight the problems inside of me, so I can be free.
I used to only wake up, twisting up and bake up. All I thought about was the ladies and getting paper. Now that I'm believing, I leave it all for the Savior. Every sin I desire slowly turn into vapor. Now that I'm walking in faith, sin been trying to break up. Temptation in my faith and I've been trying to brave up. God knows I'm nothing if I'm choosing not to wait up. So I'm exercising faith, I thank God for the faith.
Knee deep in the battle, deceived by the shadows. It's easy for heathens to either jump in deep or be shallow. I'm easy when speaking, these words can come complete with the vowels. I ain't looking for extra, that wheel of fortune ain't ours. See the team go hard, never give up. If we get knocked down, gon' get up. How we look if we took our time to just fight for how we living? How we look if we took no time to fight for the broken system? So we changing our mission and rearranging the vision.
Battle to the death, fighting till I take my last breath. Till there's nothing left, till this flesh, till this past tense. Got up on the fence, henceforth this intense. I was lost, now a friend, now a force with the pen for the Lord. Lord, yeah, I do it for the Lord, walking through it with a sword. We a crew in one accord. If you knew it, you would board on the board. To my soldiers standing firm, steady, ready for the war. Yeah, I do it for the Lord, walking through it with a sword. We a crew in one accord. If you knew it, you would board on the board. To my soldiers standing firm, steady, ready for the war.
Yo. Yeah, that was what was that song, Gil? That was off the Mission Field, Coat of Arms. You can cop that at d2lproductions.com, featuring myself, Gil Vargas, G Wiz, and Shadow. I'm excited about Shadow. Yo, Shadow is
especially in that
joke.
track that we just played. He
Shadow is no joke, and Shadow's talking about doing a project with us. So I'm excited about that, and we'll see what happens, Lord willing. But yeah, go cop Coat of Arms, Mission Field, d2lproductions.com.
G killed it too.
Do your thing, man. Yeah, G-Wiz, yeah. All you guys killed it, man. I'm proud of you guys, like a father to sons, man.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Papa.
I'm proud of you guys, man.
Like a father to son.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but that was dope about, everything that you're talking about. I'm excited about.
Yeah.
And that's, we could chop it up about that.
Yeah.
But
there's opportunities.
Yeah, there's opportunities there. Definitely. And we were just talking about how media and production and stuff like that, it does have an impact on influencing culture, influencing.
Fam, they test,
because you have going back to what you do. So you have the music program.
Yeah, we have a music program.
Okay. And they have done tracks, man. I should have had one. My bad, bro.
Yeah, we do. My
bad, man.
We've done about 9, bro. I gotta let you hear this one off the air, but this dude Ty from Boston did one. I think he's not bad. But basically, what we do is we bring a mobile studio into
the program,
a detention center.
Yeah.
I can't say where because the mine is, but we bring it into a local detention center, and right inside there, they write, record, produce, edit, and build the track.
Wow.
From the snare, everything they built. They work with us and John Eric Keys Productions. He's one of our volunteers that goes in, and Death to Life has helped us on mastering some of our stuff, on mixing some of our stuff rather. We appreciate y'all because it comes out and it's rough, and then y'all mix it down and really bless us. And so it's an opportunity for these young men to express a lot of the pain and trauma in a healthy, cathartic way for them.
Facts.
While in their own context. So it's not like making you sit down at a therapist and be like, yeah, when I was 5.
Talk to me about it.
Tell me how you feel.
So do you use like any specific books or any specific programs when it comes to like music? Because it sounds like music therapy, right?
We're using Pro Tools as the
but I'm
software.
talking about the program itself. Like it sounds like a music therapy type thing. Like
so listen, man. Like this thing,
music is therapy, and
it is. Talk to me about it because I want to think about the emotional impact.
And here's
that it has
the thing: like we didn't think about. So this came out of Straight Ahead Ministries produces this curriculum called Ready for Life, and it really causes you to think about your thinking, which like the real fancy term.
Think about your thinking.
Yeah, what the real fancy term is metacognition. So
here we go.
Thinking about your thinking.
I gotta type. You gotta give me the words first before you come through.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
But so basically that makes me angry. Why am I angry about that? So I'm thinking about my thinking.
Okay.
And so it forces you to do a lot of that. And so as you do that, like stuff opens up for you.
I love that.
So like stuff will open up for you. You know what I'm saying?
That.
And so when these dudes, we were going through it, like this is part of the work that we do with ourselves, this transformational work that I've been trained in. And so as you're doing that, like stuff just really starts to like open up. Yeah. And so you're doing it with these guys and stuff will start opening up. And so it was like, yo, cool, like it's opening up and it's scripturally based. And so it's like what do we do with this stuff? Like what do we do with it? And so Junito is a worship leader. I've done some hip hop, spoken word or whatever. We're like, bro, like what if we just started like making them write tracks about what they're discovering about themselves? And so we were like, all right, let's try it.
I love that.
And so like we did, like, bro, we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
We went and actually I broke the rules because I was like, I found out we needed a certain laptop and I was like, yo, can we buy it? They were like, nah, you can't buy it. But I went and bought it because sometimes it's better to ask forgiveness than permission. That's my own. Like,
hold up, that's his own thing.
Everyone follow that.
Is that scripture? What verse is that? Is that Ron chapter? Ron chapter 1 verse. First Ron. The first rule in Ron's book.
especially husbands. Don't use that.
Come
home dumb late. I apologize, baby.
It was better. Yeah.
It's better to apologize and permission, right?
Yeah. No, it doesn't work in that context.
There you go. You got to clarify, brother.
Not in that context.
All these young men are like, notes taken. Thank you, Ron. We can trust
what I had heard. So I'm gonna tell you, I had already accepted the consequences because I knew how much it was, and I was like, bro, if they get on me about this, I'll pay them back through my own personal money. But I just don't have that up front right now to get it. So I pay him back on a payday loan or something like that. So anyway, he bought the laptop. We went in. We got some software, and like we just was like, we was grabbing YouTube trap beats, and dudes was writing inside DY. And when we came back, they were like, yo, we ready to record. We got songs. Like, we were like, bro, write it. And dudes was talking about how they felt disappointed, how they let their mom down, they've been talking to God.
So
all these things, like, and it was on the tracks, and it was beautiful. And it was just amazing for us to be able to engage in these conversations. And then what began to happen was, it was almost like, this was like the flame for the mosquitoes, bro. And so like
they all started flocking to that.
Rival gangs, bro.
Oh, wow.
Rival gang members started coming into the studio. He started coming into the room, the studio. And for some of them at first would be like, yo, I don't want to be a part of it. Guys, hold on. So my sons are back in the room.
Back in the room.
Yeah, guys, this is the important part, but I need you guys to go ahead out. I'll make sure y'all get some ice cream when we leave.
I got the bike.
Yeah. I'll get some ice cream. I have to deliver.
Here, let's
He said, "Get out." He said,
see, that's why we need to have track. That's why we need to have tracks lined up right here. You see what I'm saying? Like, in case moments like this happen. Bam.
Yeah, when you're a parent, you just don't know.
That's
when
what
you're
it is.
Attacked by your own kids.
That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? There it is.
I committed to that. So
I know it's running late, Rob. We got some
it's
time.
all good. I'm good.
Okay,
It's summertime, so
we got like 10 minutes left, so we're good.
But what was I saying? I'm sorry. Oh, so yeah, so dudes would come in and they'd be like,
they were pouring their heart out.
They would pour their heart out, and then what was dope was like, so
the
like
rival gang.
The rival gang would come in, like, so an op would come in and be like, yo, forget this. I ain't being part of this. Like, whatever. This stuff's corny. I ain't going in there with homeboy. Whatever. All right, cool, man. Like, you don't have to, like, but this is what we doing, man. Like,
right,
if you want. And then what would happen in DY, like, the track would get recorded and dudes would start playing it, right? And so, like some of the stuff was fire. So some of the stuff was fire.
Yeah.
And so it's like the op would hear dudes track and be like, yo, that's not bad. And he start hearing it, so then he start coming in because he start resonating with his story.
So he's like,
the fact of the matter is, like, bro, y'all have lived like y'all the same, like y'all live on this side, the other on this side, but so much of y'all stuff is like
the same,
similar.
You guys have
similar lives, similar stories.
That's why you're so right. And that gangs come from a lack of identity. That's so true.
Identity crisis.
And now when they realize that they share the same pain, the same story, now they realize, yo, we the same people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we're actually both just trying to get up out of this.
I mean, so the truth is, like, crazy. I feel that pain connects people.
Facts, it does.
Because
it really does.
With success, whatever, but we've all dealt with a level of pain.
Yeah.
And it connects people in a way that no other way can, when we're able to step into those spaces and be transparent and vulnerable. But most of us aren't able to get into those spaces and share about those painful experiences. But when you do, it is so transformative and so connective to people. And so that's why, like, when we share, we're not clinicians, because clinicians have certain rules around boundaries, and we have boundaries. Like, we don't go into everything, but we're able to share a certain level of our own testimony and our own story that is able to connect with you and be like, okay, like, he's real. He's not a talking head. He's not plastic.
Right. Like, you're not following a book of rules and steps, and it's almost like troubleshooting. Like, they get a sense of that when you're taking the basic troubleshooting, like a PC. Yeah. Like, they're not PCs, man. They're not. They're not machines and computers where if we do this over here, this is going to cause this. Like, they're people. They're just as complicated as the clinicians doing the clinical work.
And these brothers, right? But
matter of fact, hold up. Even the clinicians have clinicians.
No, you have to. Because then you're dealing with secondary trauma, but that's a whole nother thing. But ultimately what these brothers are looking for, bro, is love, man.
What up, Sean? I see you.
I'm looking for someone that's going to genuinely, authentically, unconditionally care about me and love me.
Facts.
And guess where I feel like I felt that the most.
Yep.
My dudes on the block.
The people that are next to you struggling the same way. That's who you identify with.
So
when you try to go get a job, when you try to go to apply,
you're gonna make me get on my soapbox again with the church though. Because how can I rock with the pastor that I don't see in my hood, but he telling me, like, I can help you get out of that? But when I look at you, you ain't got no struggles. I can't resonate with that, bro. I can't connect with that. You in a whole, I can't, I can't.
Yo, wow.
I can't.
It's a culture it's a separate culture within a culture, bro.
I can't connect with you.
It's a separate culture.
You're an
within a
anomaly,
culture.
bro. Like, what is that?
A way of speaking, a way of living, a way of thinking, a way of acting, a way of surviving.
But just to be,
it's a culture within a
and
culture.
that's what we say.
Just to
we
play
engage
the
them
other
as a
side of
culture.
it.
Yeah.
Are we to say that? Because in reference to the pastor, like, you know, you can't. It's hard for you to resonate because he hasn't struggled like you do. But when we're speaking things like in a biblical term and theologically, shouldn't the Bible be enough? Like, why should his experiences have any reflection towards how he gives me the gospel or how he deciphers the Bible and preaches it? You know what I mean? Like, I can't be like, yo, your word is dope and you on point, but I can't connect with it because you don't struggle like I do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just to think of the other side of it.
When I say struggle like I do, I'm not saying that he had the same experiences, but we all battle with our own sin and own struggles.
Right.
Where we say, I mean, even the brother Paul was like, yo, his grace is sufficient, right? Like I asked 3 times, like I pleaded, like, yo, Lord, take this away, and he didn't.
Yeah.
So he's telling us about his experience. He's telling us about what he went through, and so I can connect and relate with that.
Right.
Like Paul was the illest apostle.
Right.
But guess what? Paul also had to be like, Lord, take this away, and he didn't because my grace is sufficient.
Facts.
So he preached that
So
in
he
a way
left
that
it
I
there.
can. I can connect with you.
Leave that there. Leave that thorn in your side.
Yeah.
So what? Oh man, bro.
And so now we overcome by the power of the blood and
It's
our
not
testimony.
designed. It's not designed for the thorn to get out your side.
Oh,
It's designed for that thing to stay in
At
there.
that point, you're a Pharisee. Like you're not
Oh,
real. Like
my
that's not.
goodness.
That's not authentic. Like I can't.
I don't care what y'all think.
That's how I feel.
I'm saying just that was gems, even if it's over y'all heads, man. I don't
That's
even
how I
care
feel.
what y'all think at this point, man, brother.
So that's
that
what we,
to me, that made this. I can't say that show, live show, a blessing to me, man. That just that moment. This whole thing has been dope.
It is, man. It's always blessing when we
That's
come
crazy.
in. And kick it.
Real talk. Like I've been growing on this show. This is yo MC Nice. We gotta talk,
but what's he
brother.
say? What's he say later on in that verse though?
We gotta talk, brother.
That's the same verse he talks about that I will no longer. Now I will boast in my weaknesses.
Yeah.
Bro, you're just too much.
That's what he came with.
It's too much sauce.
Because of this, I will boast in my weaknesses so that Christ can be glorified more. When we hide our
because
weaknesses,
it ain't me. It ain't me.
The more I hide it and make it look like I got everything together,
bro, come on, man.
the less ability I have to be able to have Christ be glorified because I'm taking all the I'm taking the glory, I'm taking the ownership away from him. So I got to talk about my weakness. I got to talk about, I struggle with this. I go through this. I deal with this. But look how God continues to bless and continues to show.
Here's one of
His
the
grace
things.
is sufficient.
Here's one of the things that I've experienced personally when it comes to theology. Going to that, not knocking it, not but just the dangers of it.
Yeah.
In certain ways that you can have a blind spot when it comes to that. One of them is when somebody asks you, how you been.
Less than highly favored.
Or either that, or like better than I deserve. Or you don't want to complain, you don't want to grumble, you don't want to
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, how we're gonna come along. The Bible tells me to confide in one another. The Bible tells me to cry with one another. The Bible tells me it's almost like taboo. Like don't be dropping tears up in the church. Like sometimes I'm broken. I'm coming up in here. I'm gonna drop tears. Like I'm a mess right now.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you this. In First John,
it's almost like I'm not allowed to be a mess there. Let me stay home. Like
James,
you know what I mean?
In James, he says what? Confess your sins one to another so that you might be healed. Here's the deal. We got so many people walking around unhealed because they're not willing to confess their sins one to another.
Right.
We're not willing to be accountable
because we feel like somehow it's ungodly.
I gotta present myself in a way
I ain't giving them something to gossip about.
Yeah, that too.
You know what I'm saying?
That too. That's all right though.
Yeah. You know what
That's
I mean?
all right. Because on that note, we're gonna close up.
Word.
I gotta do an hour and a half anyway, and I don't want to do no editing after that. So Gil, we have to stay strict.
Oh yeah.
To
I'll
an
make
hour
sure I
and a
get
half.
the stick and slap you with it.
Take the stick and slap me with it. But so Ron, it was a blessing, my dude.
Yeah, man.
I love you. Perfect
Always.
timing.
Yo,
Your sons are like,
always
it's time to be out.
Always gems, man.
Always a blessing to hear.
Always a blessing, man. You're welcome anytime. I'm looking forward about the other thing we talked about. We're gonna chop it up.
Yeah.
Until then, next week, y'all, grace and peace. Love y'all.
Appreciate y'all.
Join the email list. Like the Marrio Esco 1 Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube.
Legendary Legacies on Facebook.
Legendary Legacies on Facebook. Go like that.
Friend them.
You'll be seeing Brother Ron a lot more. If not in front of the camera, behind the camera for sure, we'll be building. So with that said, love y'all. Grace and peace. Take care.
Love y'all.
Appreciate you.
If you're listening on the podcast, be sure to check out my Facebook music page, Marrio Esco 1. Again, 2 R's in my name, the number 1 at the end, Marrio Esco 1. Be sure to like and follow that page because I like to give updates on who I'll be interviewing and leave a description on what we'll be talking about. And I also like the real-time one-on-one back and forth interaction. If you don't have the time to join us on Facebook Live, be sure to check out my podcast. It's called Marrio Esco Live, 2 R's in my name. Again, you'll see the white silhouette of myself with the cross underneath. Be sure to subscribe to that and follow the link as well to whatever podcast you're using or however you're receiving the podcast, and leave us a review. We love to hear feedback. You can also hit me up at music@marrioesco.com and just hit me up with some feedback and ways that we can improve the show or the things that you like and enjoy. Any type of feedback will be highly appreciated. Grace and peace.